Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Oh my goodness, there's only 3 more days until celebration ends, so I thought I'd better do something with the Daffodil Dies. These are the papers in celebration that you can get free if you purchase £45 worth of product, excluding shipping and handling. And this is one of the giveaways, which is the free papers called Daffodil Afternoon. That's the front and that's the back. You can find the Daffodil Daydream bundle on page 37 in the January to June 2022 mini. It has the stamp set, the Daffodil dies. Turn to page 77 and you can see the dies better here. It's a set of 24 dies. I'm also going to be using the Amazing Thanks dies, and it's bundled with, let me look at the stamp set, page 40. That's the stamp set, and those are the dies. They cut out thanks and you are amazing and thank you. So that's the Amazing Silhouette stamp set, and these are the dies that go with it. And although I'm not using the stamp set, it's bundled with the dies, and I'm only going to be using the dies today. First, let me explain about the dies. Now, I've used a product, Press and Seal, and I've grouped all my dies and put it on the Press and Seal, so I can just pick up all the dies at one go. And it saves me such a lot of time because we want to cut these in different colours. I've created a chart as a reference, and there are 24 dies in the entire set. So 2 leaf dies, one which points to the left and one which points to the right, and 2 stem dies, again one that points to the left and one that points to the right. These pieces, which have no detail, these are the base layers. Then you have the accent pieces. So the accent pieces 7 and 8 are for 5 and 6. The accent piece 12 is for the propeller piece, number 11. And number 10 is for the perspective tulip, which is number 9. And then you have the bud. The base bud is 13 and the accent piece is 14. Here it is all assembled, and because I've numbered them in order, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The trumpet pieces, 15, 6, accent 16, 17, 18, the butterflies 19, 20, and there's a little flower as well, so that's 21. And this piece here, there's been a debate, whether that's the stamen. I don't think it's a stamen. I think it's actually the body for the butterfly. I've used it as a body for the butterfly. And then you have 23 and 24, which are the stamped images. So I've grouped my accent pieces onto a sheet of Press and Seal, and the stems and leaves on another. I've cut these already. These are cut in very vanilla. I didn't put an adhesive sheet on the back for those. This will make up one flower. 2 of these, a trumpet, accent pieces, so 2 of those. And these have been cut in petal pink. No, pale papaya, sorry. And a trumpet. For the second flower, this one is the one with the perspective. You need these 2 base pieces, and the accent pieces are here. You also need a trumpet for that. And this is the bud, so you need an accent piece for the bud as well. And then I've got a mixture of leaves here. Now this is what it will look like it's assembled. So you put the accent pieces on first, accent pieces on the trumpet, stagger those two, and then this one on top to make that whole daffodil. And for the perspective one, you put the accent piece on that and on the trumpet as well, and then you put this propeller one on top of this one, and then the trumpet on top of that. And for the bud, you put this piece on top of that. So that's 13 and 14. So this is the card we're going to be making today, and it was because the stems were and the leaves were long that I decided to do a long slim card, and that's the inside. So I'm going to put these back in the envelope so I don't lose them, but I'll just put the accent pieces on these flowers. I put adhesive sheets on the back of the cardstock so it's easier to glue them together. Now when you look at the propeller type thing here, you see that one is angled, and that's where this will fit on top. Okay, once that's glued on, then you can curve your paper to give it movement. Then just pop a bit of glue in the centre and stagger that in between. Press it down and wait for it to bond. Pop some glue on the base of the trumpet and put it at an angle like so. So that's your daffodil assembled. This accent, it's pretty clear where that goes. Only one way it can go. Put the accent piece on this petal. Put glue on the back and place that on top. Place the accent piece on your trumpet. Make sure the sides all marry up and nothing shows on the reverse. And then some glue on the tip at the bottom of the trumpet. Put that, I think I'll have it this way. Lastly, we'll put the bud on. One way it can go. And there's your flowers done. Let's run through the other items you need to make the card. There's no stamping on this card, surprisingly. With the butterflies, I did run over the edges with the dark pale papaya stamping blend pen, and also clear wink of Stella glitter brush. 2 colours of ribbon. I doubled it up so that it would be sturdier. To save time, I also die cut the word thanks from the Amazing Thanks dies. This one was in Evening Evergreen, and that's in Pale Papaya. Now we can run through the cardstock. This is very vanilla thick cardstock, and the card base is 7 inches by 8.5 inches. In metric, that's 18 centimetres by 21.5 centimetres, and folded in half. Cut 2 pale papaya matte layers, one for the card front and one for the inside of the card, and both these have been cut at 3.25 by 8.25 in metric, that's 8.5 centimetres by 21 centimetres. Evening Evergreen layer and one very vanilla layer, both cut at 3 1/8 inches by 8 1/8, and this goes on top of the pale papaya layer on the front of the card, and the very vanilla one goes on top of the pale papaya for the inside of the card. Then from the Daffodil Afternoon papers, you cut this pattern in pale papaya, and that measures 3 inches by 8 inches, and in metric that will be 7.5 by 20 centimeters. Then of course you need scraps in pale papaya, very vanilla, evening evergreen and pear pizzazz to cut up your stems. I'm going to steal some cardstock from the inside of this evening evergreen layer to cut my stems and leaves. So this is your standard sandwich, platform 1, platform 2, which is the thin die adapter, platform 3, base plate, and another platform 3 on top, and then you're ready to run it through the machine. So I'll do that off camera. You see how easy it is with that press and seal wrap. So next I'm going to glue the matte layer onto the pale papaya matte layer. I'll glue the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper on top, and then glue that onto the card base. Glue the second pale papaya piece to the inside of the card. Bring in my very vanilla layer, and I'm going to just cut a butterfly aperture in the bottom left corner. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. You can save that butterfly for something else. Now you can glue this onto your inside of the card on top of the pale papaya. To assemble the card, first I'm going to take the adhesive sheet off the back of the word and glue it on top of the thanks. Next, grab the darker of the two pale papaya combo and just run it around the edge of the butterfly. Now you want to stick the body of the butterfly onto the big butterfly. Run a line of glue down the center and then glue it before you put the Wink Stella glitter pen on it, because if you put glitter on it then it won't stick to the butterfly, because the glitter pen gives it a sort of coating and you don't want that. Bend that. Now you want to assemble it, and I'm going to try and keep it in the middle. You know, it's narrow in the middle here, so you can tie the bow sort of thing. I'm going to put adhesive on the bits here, allow it to dry so that I can reposition them. Just trying to count and see how many of the pear possessed stems I have. While that's waiting to dry, I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. I'm going to trim the dimensionals down for these two letters and these two letters. I'll leave the center free because the bulk from stems being stacked on top of one another will have the same depth as the dimensionals. Now you know that it's dry, it becomes all shiny. So I'll put this on the silicone mat and I'll put some glue on the bud. Adhere that to the bud. Take that off, the backing strip I mean, and I want the bud round about there. And I want this flower here and this flower below that. So I need a left facing stem, and I'm going to glue that like so and hold on to it for a minute just to wait until it bonds. I won't take that off yet because I'm not sure of the position. Stack that on top. And you want to make sure that this flower doesn't extend beyond the card. I want a left facing darker stem. I want another left facing stem below that. This time I'm going to put the glue on the stem because I don't know where this is going to go on this daffodil. To position that daffodil a little bit lower, trim that off. Want to tuck that leaf in underneath. I want that leaf poking out angled that way, so I think I'm going to have to trim this bit here. I want this one sort of like there, and I'll have to trim this evening evergreen one like so. To bring in my ribbon and tie a bow. Trim it off, put a glue dots on and stick it down, bend the butterfly back, another glue dot, bring in the words. I've already put dimensionals on the back of the word and I've straddled the stems. Sorry, I forgot to press record. Another glue dot. So voila, there's your card completed and not a stamp in sight. So I hope you've enjoyed today's project. Thanks for joining me. All the supplies will be listed below this video in the show more section, and I'll be back with more inspiration next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.